before, and for now, comparisons are the only metrics we'll likely be using for the next week or so. The scene is calm this morning, with police lifting the curfew at 5 o'clock and reopening the streets. No reports of looting today, though demonstrators are still present on the streets, and we expect them throughout the weekend. We're joined here by Steve Rogers, retired lieutenant detective with the Nutley, New Jersey Police Department, who's written about the value of community policing and law enforcement as well. Steve, it's great to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about keeping the peace, which is the top priority right now. What must law enforcement officials do today to maintain what we're seeing, which is relatively a stable and calm environment in Baltimore, at least for now?
It's going to be a collaborative effort between the police and the community. And let me say this, that the mom, that wonderful mother, she sent a message to America yesterday, and the message is this: it is better to see your son cry for 5 minutes than for mom to cry for the rest of her life. And there is the epitome of bringing the community and the police together. And it'd be up to the police via community policing to get out on the streets and to talk to moms like that, to recruit moms like that.
You're talking about the viral video, just in case our viewers haven't seen it yet. It's really been played over the last 24 hours, and we'll try to run it if we can pull it up in our conversation,
Sure.
where you have this mother confronting her teenage son and saying, get out of here, get off the streets, you're coming with me.
But the wider and the greater message is a mother did what politicians couldn't do. By her love and by her act of being a mother, she said, you know what, son, enough's enough.
And you say that's key. What exactly is community policing?
It's the police officers getting out into the neighborhoods, getting them out of the police cars, walking the streets, getting to know the people in the community. I was in charge of our community policing unit in Nutley, New Jersey, and we were knocking on doors. We were going into stores, mingling with the people, holding community meetings. And you know what? The kids looked up to us. Kids weren't running from us. They were running towards us.
How difficult is that going to be for this police department to do now in light of what's transpired over the last several days?
Look, what happened last night in Baltimore is a message that was sent to America, and they made America proud of them, because what they did was they got the clergy together, they got their educators together, and they got the police together. Those fellows standing in front of the police between the larger crowds and the police, that's part and parcel of community policing. That's citizens taking hold of what the police is giving them and working together. I don't think it'll be that difficult.
I was reading the introduction to one of your books, and when you talk about community policing, and here's what you had to say. I'd like to share this with our viewers. You say, until the American people and the leaders they elect to office are willing to address in a very decisive manner the challenges America's law enforcement community will be facing in the next few years, every citizen in every neighborhood better prepare for the future with an understanding that the worst is yet to come. Talk to us about that. What do you mean the worst is yet to come?
The worst is yet to come. I meant, when I wrote that, is that because the United States government, all right, pulled back on funding community policing projects, pulled back on programs and grants that brought the police and community together, this is what we have. This is exactly what I was afraid of, and Baltimore happened to be the flashpoint. So what we need to do is to take that federal money that's being put into a lot of programs and get it back to community policing.
Still, going back to your point at the beginning of this interview, there's certain things that money can't buy. And we do have the video of the mother and how she confronted her teenage son. Again, just for our viewers who might have missed it. So this, again, goes to what you can't buy. You can't put a price tag on this. So what do you do inside a community to just encourage the proper behavior? Well,
that mom will be a very, very good asset to Baltimore. The clergy will. Got to get the parents together.
But what about self-reflection inside the police department as well? Because what happened to Freddie Gray still is a big mystery. And for someone to be injured that badly in police custody raises some really serious questions.
It sure does. And I've got to tell you this. As a police officer, I'm troubled about that. Any police officer who abuses people and violates the law should not be police officers. They tarnish the badge of every good cop in this country. We don't know the outcome of this. We don't know what happened. But I've got to tell you something. What went on has to be investigated quickly. And the key to solving a lot of problems is for the police department to be transparent. They're doing a good job right now in Baltimore. I hope they keep it up.
And hopefully the accountability goes down the line as well once we get the answers to this investigation.
It's all about accountability and responsibility, not only on the part of the people, but on the part of the police.
We don't want to forget that, because this is really at the center of all of this, what happened to Freddie Gray, and the answer's there. Steve, great to have you on set. Thank you so much
You're
for the
welcome.
time. John?